Hello students, let's look at this problem together. A basketball hoop is 9 feet and 10 inches tall. There are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. How tall is the basketball hoop in centimeters? So one more time, our question, how tall is the basketball hoop in centimeters? Okay, so here we are given some measurements, and the basketball hoop is given in two different measurements. So we must make sure we combine that and work with one measurement. So I'm going to have to change those feet to inches. So if you look down here on our anchor chart, you can see that it has 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So if 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, we want to know what 9 feet would be. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a proportion, and we have feet and inches. So feet and inches. And what I know from this anchor chart or from my star reference sheet would be that 1 foot is 12 inches. So we have to make sure, and I'm color coding so that we make sure that feet measurements are always going to be on top. That's how I labeled it. And inch measurements are always going to be in the bottom because that's how I labeled it. So now I come over here. Now be careful because I am only trying to convert feet. So what I'm trying to do is this right here, I want to make into inches so that I can combine it with these inches. So what I have is I have 9 feet, and I want to know how many inches that is. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to use my cross products, and I can do 9 times 12 is equal to 1 times x. Okay, so I'm going to do 12 times 9, and that needs to equal 1 times x. So 12 times 9 is 108, and that is equal to 1x. So if I divide, remember I'm trying to isolate my x. So if I divide by 1, I have to divide by 1 on the other side. And 1 divided by 1 is just x. And then 108 divided by 1 is 108. So this right here that we figured out is we figured out 9 feet equals 108 inches. And we also had 10 inches. So now what we want to do is we want to combine 108 and 10. So the basketball hoop is a total of 118 inches. So now I have the basketball hoop is 118 inches. There are 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. How tall is the basketball hoop in centimeters? So now I have another proportion to set up, and this time they gave me the equivalent measure. They gave me centimeters and inches. So I'm going to make a new proportion with centimeters and inches. So the basketball hoop I figured out is 118 inches. And so the inches we've put in the bottom. That's how we labeled it. We're going to color code that. And we are looking for the centimeters. The answer needs to be in centimeters. So I'm going to call that C. And what we know is we already know that 2.54 centimeters is equal to 1 inch. So we have our proportion. So what I want to do now is I want to use my cross products. So I'm going to multiply 118 times 2.54, and that's equal to 1C. So we are going to use our cross products. So we are going to multiply 2.54 times 118. And that's going to be equal to 1 times C. So I know I want C to be isolated. So C is being multiplied by 1. So I know I will divide by 1. And so I am saying that C is equal to 2.54 times 118 divided by 1. Okay, so let's work that out. I'm going to work that out over here in this space. So 2.54 times 118. So I start with the 8. 4 times 8 is 32. We carry 3. 5 times 8 is 40. Plus 3 more is 43. Carry the 4. 2 times 8 is 16. And 4 more is 20. And now I am done with the 8. So I put a placeholder. So now I'm multiplying by 1. 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. And now I am done with the 1. So I put a placeholder. And I still need another placeholder there for the other number. And then I'm going to start here on this place because I am multiplying here by the 1 now, this one. So 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 1 is 5. And 2 times 1 is 2. And now we will find the sum or add up all of these rows. So I have 2, 3 plus 4 is 7, 5 plus 4 is 9, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 5 more is 9, and then 2. And now we're going to count our decimal places. So we only had 2 numbers behind the decimal in our first factor. In our second factor, we didn't have any numbers behind a decimal. We don't have any decimal places. So we need a total of 2 numbers behind the decimal in our answer. So we're going to start over here at the very end, and we're going to go in 1, 2. So our decimal goes there. So we got our product. So we have C is equal to 299.72. And remember, we have centimeters. So our correct answer is B. So let's go back and remember that in this problem we had to do 2 proportions, one to convert the feet to inches so that we could have 1 unit of measurement for the basketball hoop, and then we could change those inches using our equivalent measure, 2.54 centimeters and 1 inch. And that's how we got our answer, 299.72.